So Christmas is over. I hope you all got exactly what you wanted. I got a lot of cool stuff. I got a lot of cool Star Wars stuff. You'll probably see a little bit of background changing over the next few days as I stick up some of the posters that I got. But I've got those post-Christmas blues, you know, that little bit of depression that you get when the festive season starts to come to a close. And I think the only cure for that depression is a little bit of Baby Yoda, because I think Baby Yoda could probably cure your sadness in any situation. You know, you got a funeral to go to, think of Baby Yoda, you know, just been diagnosed with a horrible disease, think of Baby Yoda. I think there's a lot that could be said there about, you know, his ability to cure sadness in the world. But in all seriousness, Christmas is over, and I do hope everyone had a fantastic festive period. This is the first episode that I have seen post The Rise of Skywalker. And, you know, if you haven't seen The Rise of Skywalker yet, I would suggest definitely you go watch it before watching this reaction, because I'm probably going to reference some stuff at some point. So just a fair warning about that. But there's definitely, having seen that film, I can definitely tell why they released the last episode the day before Rise of Skywalker was due to release to us, you know, worldwide, because that episode had a little bit of a precursor for what happened in the movie and tried to set up the healing power as, oh, this isn't something that just one person can do. This is something that is established as a force power. You know, for people who haven't played like the Knights of the Old Republic game where you could force heal, it was kind of there as to say, you know, this is definitely a pre-existing power for people who don't really play games or read books or whatever. You know, this is real. So that's the reason why they did that. And now I really loved the last episode of The Mandalorian. I loved the fact that we left off on a bit of a cliffhanger, a really kind of tense and sad ending. You know, and the question now is, obviously with Mothe Gideon showing up, and now Baby Yoda being in the possession of the Imperials, and the Mando being pinned down and being in a really tough spot, how is he going to get out of it? You know, who is he going to rely upon? Who are the allies who are going to come to his rescue? I mean, there's a couple of options. You would obviously look at the Mandalorians who helped him previously. However, they seem to have upped and gone since the last time that we saw them, because their location had been revealed. You would think maybe IG-11 might come to his aid, but then there's the question of, well, was it IG-11 who maybe committed the murder in the first place? I don't think it was. I don't think IG-11 is gonna kind of break his programming in a little way and come after the Imperials. But we really don't know, and that's the beauty of it. I think the beauty of it is the fact that this story has been, it's not been a big, complicated kind of story. It's been a very nice kind of, you know, small narrative that has just revolved around these two characters, really, you know, Baby Yoda and Mandalorian. And that's all you needed. You didn't need some big, grand sort of plan or big story. You know, just have a guy who exists in the universe who's just trying to survive and happens to have a bit of a heart of gold that you maybe wouldn't have expected under that helmet. You know, maybe he didn't even realize it. You know, he'd done so many jobs for money that he's probably killed so many people that if you'd have asked him, are you good or bad, he probably would have said, I'm a bit in between. But I think, you know, if anything, this show has shown that he's actually a pretty good guy. And, you know, I'm very excited to see where they go with this last episode. I'm very sad that this is the last episode of the series, and we're probably going to have to wait at least a year for the second season, which I believe they are either in pre-production of right now or they are actually filming. It's gonna be a tough wait, but I've enjoyed every single moment. Even the episodes that have been a little bit slower, like the Gunslinger, I still enjoyed that. I still thought it was a good episode. It was just a little bit slower compared to the rest. But, you know, in this kind of post-holiday depression, it also goes alongside a kind of post-Rise of Skywalker depression, because I didn't hate the film, but I thought it could have been so much better. And so, you know, I'm kind of looking to The Mandalorian as the saving grace, and I think a lot of people are thinking, damn, you know, the sequel trilogy was a real letdown. It could have been so much more. hopefully with this Disney Plus and all of these new miniseries coming out, hopefully that can be a bright future for Star Wars, and I really hope that it is. I mean, they've had a great start with The Mandalorian, but I don't take anything for granted, because I thought Rogue One was a great start to the anthology films. Then they had Solo, which I enjoyed, but was a cinematic failure in terms of the box office, and that kind of killed the anthology stories dead. So all it takes is one bad show to kind of for Disney to kind of look at things again and go, is this the best thing for us? Should we stop this in its tracks? So, let's just all hope and pray that, whatever comes out after this, I think it's the Kenobi film, Clone Wars, it's a success, because this is still very early days of Disney Plus, and I really want it to be a great success, for the Star Wars TV shows. And if we can get another show that's, even half as good as The Mandalorian, it's going to be great. So, but yeah, we're going to jump into this. Before we do, I want to say a big thank you to my Patreon super supporters, Frank Tremel, TheLoneDetective, Karen Abel, Rakoon Shampoo, Flawed Otaku, and Ace. And let's see what happens next in this finale. I so want a speeder bike.
Speeder bikes have arrived at the checkpoint with the asset waiting confirmation.
Guys, your helmet's not on properly. I love this little... Oh my god. Oh my god.
What is that thing anyway?
This scout trooper
I don't know, maybe Moth wants to eat it. I don't ask questions.
needs to die a horrible death. I'm just waiting for like IG-11 just to blast them both. I do love this scene though. It's just two dudes, albeit a abusive child beater. Oh shit. He just killed an officer for interrupting him. Yes! IG-11? Please.
I am this child's nurse droid.
Rip
you remind him to me immediately.
them to shreds.
Telling you to get out of here.
Oh, yes! Yes!
I am sure that Republican shock trooper Cara Doon of Alderaan will advise you that
she's from Alderaan.
Many of her ranks vaporized mid-descent. Or perhaps
Holy shit.
decommissioned
No wonder.
Mandalorian hunter Din Djarin.
Din Djarin?
Songs of the siege of Mandalore.
That's his name?
When gunships outfitted with similar ordnance laid waste to fields of Mandalorian recruits would gladly break any promise and watch you die in my hand. The assurance
At least he's honest.
I will act in my own self-interest, which at this time involves your cooperation and benefit.
What is it Jack Sparrow said? You can always trust a dishonest person to be dishonest.
I will give you until nightfall, and then I will have the E-Web...
Oddly making them trustworthy.
On Mandalore?
I was not born on Mandalore.
No.
But you're a Mandalorian.
Mandalorian isn't a race.
Was he part of the...
It's a creed.
Yeah. Was he part of the Republic before the Empire? Oh, I love this. Flashbacks. If only the prequels had this level of visual... or this level of cinematography. Like the Star Wars grit, the... Rather than the droids just looking shiny and cartoonish, they look threatening and evil. All I'm going to say is much better flashback for the parents than in The Rise of Skywalker. No, it's a Mandalorian. Oh, shit! I was thinking it was going to be a clone trooper, but of course it would be a Mandalorian. I still love seeing the Mandalorians live action. Oh, I'm ready for a... Yes! Oh my god. Yes. Wow. That's... That's something I never knew I needed. No, you'll hit the target. Oh. Yes. Yes, IG-11. The world's ultimate babysitter. Oh crap, has he been reinforced? Because those blaster bolts are not getting through his armor this time. Okay, yes. You're not going to get through that armor, Moth. Oh, okay.
And they'll help you.
We can make it.
Oh, fuck. Oh, yes. These are the real heavy troopers.
Come on. Let's go.
Baby Yoda, we need your magic touch right now.
This is the way.
Oh, don't use that line in the way that we don't like. He's like... Oh! That was awesome. And sleepy time. Yeah, that gave me flashbacks of Kanan and his death.
I am not a living thing.
No. It's good. He bypasses the rule. Oh shit, I actually didn't want to see him. I didn't want to see his face. I know what Pedro Pascal looks like.
It will heal you in a matter of hours.
Oh shit. No, don't tell me they killed them all.
And this will make you complete.
He's got a jetpack! Yes!
When you
Oh!
in your drills. Until you know it, it will not listen to your commands.
I understand.
Oh yes! Season 2 just got a whole lot juicier. Guys, you all need to get your guns recalibrated. Oh! Yes! Okay, she can handle herself. Oh! She broke the helmet.
You got a better idea?
Guess not.
It's alright, if you burn yourself, they've got suits that can heal that.
Push!
Or help you live. Oh, the droid's alive! Hello, droid! What
I don't suppose anybody here speaks Droid. I believe
is that?
where we would like to go.
There's something fundamentally wrong about an R2 droid having arms and legs. That shit freaks me out. It's like someone has spliced together two species of animals that should never go together.
To reach through combat is impossible. We will be captured. The child will be lost.
Yeah.
Sadly, there's no scenario
He's
where the
gonna-
child is saved in which I survive.
He is gonna run ahead.
Going anywhere. We need you. Let's just come up with. Please tell me the child will be safe.
I never thought the Mandalorian
So I can default to my secondary command.
would say he needed the droid.
Be destroyed. Manufacturer's protocol dictates I cannot be captured. I must be destroyed.
Godspeed, you metal insane killer nurse.
Our blasters are useless against him.
Hey, let's make the baby do the magic hand thing. Come on, baby. Do the magic hand thing.
Yes.
Come on, like this.
I'm not.
Here he comes!
Oh, he's so adorable. Yes! Come on! Use that jetpack! Oh, yes! Yes! All he needed was a little boost. Oh! I tell you what, I love the realism of the combat. He doesn't get the perfect placement first time. There you go. Eject. You can eject, can't you? Oh. He made a noble sacrifice. And he has spoken for the last time. What is that? Oh, it's his Mandalorian chain. Oh, that's so fitting. He is a Mandalorian.
I didn't think I'd see this again.
Yeah, he kept hold of it. Yeah, Mothe Gideon's coming back for a second season. Oh, is that the Darksaber? Oh shit! Has he got the Darksaber? What the fuck? Oh! Oh! Oh shit! Oh fuck! That is the Darksaber in live action. Holy shit, I just saw the Darksaber, which for those of you who've seen the Clone Wars and Rebels will know it's an ancient Mandalorian lightsaber. I never thought I would see that in live action. Oh my god, that was so cool. I mean, you know what? I loved all the little bits of details we got in this episode. It was a great finale, first and foremost. So many times where you were thinking, oh my god, what's going to happen here? You know, how they're going to get out of this situation, and then bringing so many of the things that have been established earlier in the season, kind of then bringing it full circle, regardless of whether it's IG-11, you know, using his built-in manufacturer's protocol to save them, whether it was the Mando, finally coming to trust a droid, you know, after having hated him for so long. So many of these things have come full circle, and it's the sign of a good storyteller, it's a sign of a good writer, that they're able to put these little things in early in the season and use them later on in the big finale to help move the plot forward. Mothe Gideon, considering the fact that he only showed up in the last episode, is an extremely intriguing character. I love the fact that he's not afraid to get in on the front lines. He definitely seems unhinged. You know, he killed his own men. We heard that he killed an officer for interrupting him. He, you know, I mean, I think if you're a Moff and you're willing to jump in a TIE fighter and go and fight on the front lines, I think that shows that you're a little bit different to any other Moff in the galaxy. But it sounds like he is someone who is extremely unpleasant. He seemed to have presided over the Purge of Mandalore, which, you know, obviously we learned... There's a lot of stuff we learned about the Mando in this episode. We learned his name. We obviously learned the fact that wherever his home planet was, where it was getting attacked by the CIS, he was saved by the Mandalorians. I was expecting the Republic to show up, and I was half expecting Gideon to be an officer in the Republic, and for him to have saved the Mandalorian. But it makes way more sense that it would have been the Mandalorians. And I know that some people were thinking that maybe there was going to be an Obi-Wan Kenobi cameo in that scene, and I'm kind of glad that they went the other way now, because I don't want to see Obi-Wan until we get the Obi-Wan series. That's you know, what I'm waiting for there. Although it would have been cool to see a live-action Clone Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi. Other than, you know, obviously what we'd seen in the films, you know, in his, like, classic Clone Wars armor, with some, you know, clone troopers. Moff Gideon himself, it makes sense as to why he would have the Darksaber if he did preside over the Purge of Mandalore. It seems like, I mean, he didn't make it sound like he was the one in charge of it, but it seems like he was a prominent person involved in that. So he probably had access to a lot of Mandalorian items, you know, and you know, if they were able to recover that, I don't even know where it would be. I mean, Who was the last person to have the Darksaber? It was Sabine. I think it was Sabine, wasn't it? How did they get it from Sabine? Oh, that's an interesting one. That's definitely a little bit of a plot thread that I think they're going to try and... Holy shit, what if we're going to get a live-action Sabine? Oh, I don't know. I don't know what they're trying to set up here, but there's so many little things they could do in Season 2. It's obvious that Mothe Gideon is going to be a recurring character in Season 2, and I did say to myself, look, this guy apparently survived execution. Go and check and make sure he's alive. Who was it who helped him? Who helped him survive execution? There may be another threat, that's like a little plot thread there that they need to pick up on in the next season. Maybe there's a traitor in the Republic who's helping Imperial officers escape. Maybe that's why so many Imperial officers end up in the First Order, because people were helping them escape, justice. Oh man, so many good things. The Mandalorian gets a jetpack, and I love the fact that they didn't have him immediately know how to use it and fly through the air and do all these intricate things. He just needed to get a little boost to get above the TIE fighter so he could hook onto it. That's pretty much the extent of how he used the jetpack, flying in a straight line. And that's all that he needed to do. We didn't need him flying all over the place like the other Mandalorians might do, because he's inexperienced, he hasn't used it. So you just got to keep it simple. And again, the combat with the TIE fighter, he misses the first bomb he tries and plants on it, he misses. And I love the realism of that combat. It's like, you know what, he's not perfect. He's gonna fuck shit up. He's gonna make mistakes. And that's, it's that realism that they're bringing to the show that I really appreciate. I also really appreciate IG-11 on a speeder bike. That is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. And, I think another thing I really enjoyed about the episode was that little scene with the two scout troopers where they were just kind of talking. And, you don't get a lot of focus on the faceless kind of troopers. That's got to be the longest amount of screen time and dialogue that any kind of a stormtrooper has been given. Maybe outside of an animated show or something. I mean, I don't remember there being that much dialogue between two stormtroopers and anything else. And if it wasn't for the abuse of the child, I would have been like, you know what, these guys just seem like normal guys who are just trying to make their way in the galaxy. But no, they definitely had to make them abusive arseholes by making them punch the baby. I was like, oh, it's just this guy who's an abusive arsehole. This guy just wants to see the baby because he thinks it's cute, and then he went and punched him in the face. So I'm very glad that they both died, because they deserved it. I'd say the one thing I was a little bit disappointed with in this episode was the fact that we saw the Mandalorian's face. I thought it would have been perfect to just do a blind cutaway when he realised that, IG-11 is not a living thing. And the next time you see him, it's IG-11 and the Mando, coming through the sewers, and he's apparently survived. But they decided to show us on screen the removal of the helmet. And to be honest, I mean, we all know what Pedro Pascal looks like. It's not a huge mystery as to, I wonder how he looks under there. It's kind of like, well, I can just imagine he's going to look like a bit of a scruffed up Pedro Pascal. So I was kind of like, I would have preferred them to keep the mystique of, don't let us see him without the helmet on, because it kind of sets up for next season more opportunities for him to be without the helmet. And, sure, it's not a massive thing. It's just something, I love the mystique around it. It's like, I don't know, it's almost like it's what made Darth Vader so special. If Darth Vader had just been some guy in the original trilogy, it wouldn't have had an effect. It would not have had anywhere near the same presence as the masked sort of figure that we saw. And yes, they did eventually remove his helmet, but there's a big difference between, someone who has been horribly scarred and who's dying, and you're never going to see on screen again, to have their helmet removed, as to someone who, is just genuinely a Mandalorian guy who, we know what the actor looks like. So we can all visualize it in our heads. And, he's going to be back next season. So, yeah, I mean, part of me was actually thinking, what would be ballsy? Is if they did kill him off. If they killed him off and they had, like, someone else be the main character next season, but they were a Mandalorian, like it would be like along the lines of, you don't need to be from Mandalore to be a Mandalorian. Like, it could have been Cara Doon, it could have been someone else they introduced in the episode, but it wouldn't make as much sense. That I kind of thought, no, it doesn't really make too much sense them doing it that way. But overall, I just love the kind of pacing of this episode. The R2 droid with arms and legs, I have never been so freaked out. I think I've found my new phobia. It is R2 droids that are supposed to... Yeah, R2 droids should not have arms and legs. They just shouldn't. At first, I was like, oh my god, is that like an assassin droid or something? Has someone modified an R2 droid to, like, kill? And I know that there is R2 droids out there that have been used for said purpose, but, I've never seen one with arms and legs. It was like, that was freakier to me than a lot of stuff I've seen. But overall, I really enjoyed this episode. There was so many good plot threads. There was so many... I'm not sitting here thinking to myself, that didn't make sense, or that didn't make sense, or why'd they do this, or why'd they do that, like I was after The Rise of Skywalker. This entire series, from point A to point B at the very end, it all kind of went smoothly, it all made sense. It's something that... The only thing I'm kind of always a little bit unsure on is when people still aren't sure as to, like, who the Jedi are. And, I appreciate that the Jedi were not that common in the universe, when you consider the scale of things. And I understand that the Empire did a lot to suppress the kind of information, but the woman who was, like, the Mandalorian forger, like, armorer, she surely should have known about someone like Maul, someone who took over Mandalore not that long ago, who was a Force user. But again, maybe some of that information was suppressed. Maybe she didn't know he was a Force user. But, it's just always something I'm like, do people really not know about the Force that much? And I don't know if they're just trying to overcompensate sometimes because, there's that whole kind of, like, in episode 4, Han doesn't know or doesn't believe in the Force. And so they're kind of like, oh, well, we've got to have everyone else kind of be the same. I'm not sure whether it's just that or whether, they are just trying to genuinely play it off as, well, yeah, the Jedi, not a lot of people saw them, even though they were generals in the Republic. It's a little bit odd, but a little tiny nitpicky point, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. But I love this show. I love this finale. I love the characters. I cannot wait for season 2. If it's half as good as this season, then we are in for a treat. I just can't believe we've got to wait so long for it. If I was Disney right now, I would just be like, you know what? Pump money into this, make more episodes. I will happily pay a premium to watch this show. If I had to pay like an extra £5, a month or whatever, to have a longer season, I would happily do it. Bring me all of that Mandalorian merch so that I can fund a longer season. I will buy all of your merch. Give me the Baby Yoda plush. Give me the Mandalorian replica helmet. I will take it all. Give it to me. And I will happily help fund... Not that Disney needs the money, because they're fucking rich. But, give me more episodes. Give me like a 12-episode season. That's the dream. But anyway... I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please let me know in the comments. Yeah, such a good show. But thank you very much for watching. There is going to be plenty of other stuff coming up over the next few months. Obviously, we've got the Clone Wars coming back next year. I say next year, and that's literally in a few days' time. So we've got the Clone Wars coming back, so I will definitely be reacting to that. As for Star Wars, other Star Wars content, it is going to be a little bit light on the ground until we get a little bit more confirmation on what is next in terms of, whatever movies they decide to bring out next when we get more information on Kenobi, the series. So, for the Star Wars front, it might be a little bit quiet, but I've certainly got a lot going on. So be sure to check out my Patreon for like full reactions and things like that. And I'll be booting up back with regular videos at the new year. So gonna take a few days off just for New Year's. And then we'll be back for the regular schedule after I've recovered from my hangover on New Year's Eve. I also have my D&D games on Saturdays, which there is going to be one tomorrow. So join me on my Twitch channel, which is in the description below. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you around.